Time for another SNG short. And today, that mask I poured yesterday, we're going to pull out of this mold. And it's very cold back here because it's been cold here in Ventura. So cold it's making my nose run. So the mask was pretty well gelled this morning, but just a little bit of heat on it from one of these, and it dries up pretty good. So we're going to put a little powder in it first, because one thing that happens with rubber, this is going to get all over my nice shiny sports car, but it's dirty anyway. I got to clean it. But what that does is make it all slick inside and it won't stick to itself, which is something we don't want to do. Usually I use a powder puff. I don't see one close by. So now I'm going to stand up here and I'm just going to release this rubber. Now this mask is extremely thick. So Rich, if you're watching, and I hope you are, if someone breaks into your house, you could probably beat them to death with it. I meant to leave it in for, I don't know, 2.5 hours or so. It was in 4. So I release it all from the sides like that, get it loose. I don't separate the two halves, there's no need to, and then I just pull it out like that. Oh boy, is this nice and thick. This is gonna last you a very long time. So that's what they look like when they come out of the mold, when they're in raw rubber. And you can see the size, Rich. This is off the original mold, so it's going to shrink a little bit, but not a lot, because it's pretty well dried out. This has to dry overnight, and tomorrow we will tool it up and clean it, although I do have a dentist appointment tomorrow for lots of fun, so I don't know, we'll see how I do, but I'll certainly be painted by Thursday. And you can see the original mold starting to break down a little bit because it took some of the surface plaster off, but it doesn't affect the look of this. The front's fine, so. But it's nothing I can't just clean up with a little bit of lacquer thinner and some fine sandpaper. So there we go. And that's how we do that. So I got it over here next to the compressor and everything. This is where I paint. Of course, the beautiful sports car in the background is going to have a car cover on it because I forgot one day and I'm spraying this stuff and I look over the car and it was the color of the mask on one side, but luckily the stuff peels right off of very shiny, freshly painted metal like that car. And so I learned my lesson there, but it sticks really well to this. And in fact, while I'm in the kitchen, I have to go order some more of this because I just found out that I'm out. And this is what I use, Fast Bond contact cement. And this stuff is incredible. Very expensive, but you get what you pay for. This stuff, Rob Berman, the famous Rob Berman, told me about this. Asked me what I was using before, and I told him, he says, use this. It's great. It's water-based, and you will not get it off the rubber no matter what you do. And he's right. So that's what I'll be painting with tomorrow, I hope, depending on how my mouth feels after I get back from the dentist. Okay, so now I'm turning my attention to moving this light so it's not blocking camera. Turning my attention to the nose cone here for the F15 that I just got an order for. And there's some blemishes and things on it I don't like. And although with most garage kits, and this is what this is called technically, even though we're in a studio shop, I just don't like to give my customers product that has bubbles and needs fixing and repairing and stuff. And usually with garage kits, that's the case. It is, and I'm used to it, and I never complain, but I don't know, it's a pride thing, so I like to send out the best possible product that I can, and when I see little flaws, I like to fix them. In fact, here's the original master, which has been really beat around over the years, but I'm getting it prepped to make a new mold on, because the other mold's wearing out. Likewise, the boat tail is wearing out as well. So I'm making a new one, and I see a few little things I don't like, so I'm cleaning it up. I got a little bubble starting right there. We don't want that. Other than that, it's pretty good. And I'm going to look for some blemishes I don't like. It's a funny little bubble things up here I don't like, so I'll put a little bit of this on there, and then we'll let it dry, and then sand it down, and then primer it. So when you get this nose cone for the X15, it will be already primered for you. All you have to do is a little bit of light sanding on it, and you're good to paint this. And I see it'll be a little dingus maningus there. I don't like, get rid of that. This stuff dries very quickly, especially when I put it in the oven. And put it on low. A little bump there I didn't like. But other than that, I got some stuff here. Because, you know, the master is pretty good. It's all hand done on the wood lathe. And, but you still, you know, when you hold it in the right light, you see things you don't like. So the tips are always a little problematic. Sometimes you get a bubble in them. There wasn't a bubble there, but I saw something I didn't like, so it's gone now. And so that'll get primered after it gets sanded. Now, these are the parts for the V-23 rocket plane. You see the picture going up. There's the boat tail for it. These are fine. They need nothing. The molds are in good shape on that. So, but the other ones weren't. So, and this is the canopy for the larger X15 that I used to sell, which became very expensive to make because everything's become so expensive, and I can't compete with the other companies because they have their work sent over to China and mass produced, and they invest lots of money. So I can't sell a Grande for $150 or even $120. They were going for $250, and some people bought them, but everybody pretty much complains that you're too much money, forgetting that I make these myself. But I am going to offer the canopies and the nose cone that goes with it, with riveted detail in it and stuff, with templates as a short kit, as was suggested by one person who wrote in and said, could you please at least do that? I'd really wanted one of those Grandes. So I thought, you know, that's a good idea. Let's do that. Okay, back on the Cooper, I brought the test car from home, and I'm going to remove my frame. Now I only have one post in this with a very small screw in it because it will really so I'm going to remove the body. I'm going to show you something that I've never seen before ever happen. And in fact, I'm going to move in a little closer. So I've never had this happen before, ever. Look at that. That crown gear, it just broke in half while I was running it. Not sure what the cause of that was from, but it seems to be stuck on, which is something I'm not used to. Assuming we're out of frame again. Okay, so this rim is, for some reason, it's stuck. Must have got some glue or something in there, I don't know. Okay, so let's get this out. Constantly watching the camera to make sure I'm staying in frame. And I do believe that, yes, my mic is on. I'm going to run this through. And we have some corrosion on there. Interesting. So yeah, that crown gear is just, what a failure. I don't know what would cause that. I've never had that happen before, but I got another slotted crown gear for it, not the same amount of teeth. This one is this one was 27, this one's 26. And I'm just going to take the grub screw out of the old one. Sort of. There, thank you. Thank you, slot car gods. Am I still in frame? Wow, I'm still in frame. And because I don't have it set for mirrored, when I move the way I think it should go, well, it's not the way it should go. Now, put this back on. Tighten. wheel back on. Put this one on. I love the way John marked the inside of the rim so I know where the rub screw is. Put that back on like that. Beautiful. God, that's just so smooth and nice. I will never know what caused that. Pretty amazing. So what I have to do now is match the post on that one, and I think I have room. I'm going to get these in frame. I think I have room to put another one back here on the tail. So what I'm going to do is get this little post of thick styrene to fit down in here. And I'm going to glue it in. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scratch up the plastic a bit so I can get rid of the paint that's there that it won't want to stick to very well. And I've cleared off a little spot in there that I can fit that into. And of course, I left the CA upstairs. So here we go. And I'm not going to put a hole in it. Round that off a little bit so it fits in that spot a little better. And then make the top of it real flat as I can. And I'll make a little mark there later for where you drill the hole. A little bit of medium CA. It'd be nice if I had some kicker handy, but I don't. And that went there pretty well. Just putting a little bit of kicker on this toothpick, dropping it down in there. Well, that sets it up pretty quick. So the next thing I'm going to do is figure out, based on this, how that fits in there. Now the frame, the actual frame is going to be brass etched, and it will fit precisely in here. But based on this, get closer to the camera, Steve. Okay, this is going to extend out further, so I can get another post in right there. You can live with one because it kind of locks in and can't go anywhere, but I have a funny feeling that people are going to want another post, and I should go right about there. Hopefully that made a mark. Yes, it did. So we want to go line these both up right about there. That should do it. It's really close to the end here, but I think it's going to work out quite well. So I'm going to get an idea of what our height should be. I want it to come right up to the top. This must be screwed down. No? There we go. Right there. That gives me the height of this piece I need. And what I'm doing is I'm scoring the styrene so it breaks off precisely. Like that. A little flat sanding. Well, this should go up at an angle, so I'm going to do this so it contours a bit better to the slope there. live, well, recorded slot car building. Live, right. You see how beautifully clean and flat that breaks off when you score styrene as opposed to sawing it or something like that. So now we're going to do the same thing with this, and what I'm going to do is get my toothpick and get that area where I'm going to place this. See, I'm staying in frame better now that I backed out a bit. And you see how nice and smooth that is inside now? Hopefully you can see that. Because I remember I filled that yesterday. So this is a very even and nice interior to the body as well. So, you ever have that momentary glitch where you think you glued something to the wrong part? I just saw that and said, oh, I glued it to the wrong one. Of course, that's the test body. Okay, so now that should be good. I'm going to put a little drop of CA on there, and then I'm going to take some kicker and put it on the location I plan to put this part to. And here we go. This should be just about perfect. I think the height's a little lower, but yeah, no, that'll be just right because the way the brass is going to fit. Twist there. Just about in the right location. I'm going to put another drop down there, just one drop. There we go. And that'll give it a fillet of sort in there. And that'll give us a nice post. I should be able to fit this right down in here. Although it's hitting something. Oh, it's a seat, I forgot. I put that in first and drop this down there. Yeah, this is going to be just perfect. Just perfect. Oh, I love perfect. There we go. Yeah. Oh, boy, that just, can you see that? I hope you can see that. So there's going to be more brass extending out here. So that hits that just perfect, and it just clears the crown gear. I mean, just. Woo! That's really exciting stuff. So that's what I wanted to do. And so now what's left to do to this body before I can mold it is just tidy up this, put another coat of primer on it. I see a blemish right here I don't like, which I can remove, sand down. And the other thing is too, when you get your body, it may have some of that stuff on it, but all you have to do is a little sanding, a little more primer. But I think I got that. And I need to get this spot here. Because remember yesterday it was a little unsmooth right in that location. So I'll just give that a light sand in there. A little bit there, a little bit there. So this will be a little smoother. It was smooth enough yesterday, but this is just going to make it nicer. By the time I pile a bunch of primer on it, it'll be fine. Now, I mean, I've had some slot car bodies out there that were less than stellar. I still love them. I think they were worth every dime I paid for them. And yeah, I had to do a bunch of this to get them really nice, but I've been noticing that just about everybody does. This is ready for some primer. Okay, to the paint booth, and I think we're ready to get a final coat of primer on this. I hope so. I'm going to use my famous my favorite primer, which sometimes isn't, depending if it sputters or not. I see one little spot there, just like Daffy Duck. A speck! Okay, for those of you old enough to appreciate real cartoon animation, you'll understand what I meant when I said, oh, a speck! Alright, I know Elliot will get it. So I'm going to put a big bunch of this on here, get it really nice and liquidy, and then let it dry. And I think we got a body ready to go. That will self-level, and I think I'll be able to make a mold of that tomorrow. It's so pretty. Automobiles and airplanes, I tell you, you gotta love them. So here's that X15 nose cone. It's all primered up, looking really nice. Ready to go in the kit. So that's going to do it for today. I hope you enjoyed this SNG short. Oh, I should show you. The body dried and it's so beautiful, so smooth, and so ready to make a mold. I want to do it tomorrow, but I think because I have a dentist appointment and it's not going to be the most painless thing I'm going to go through, I probably will do this Thursday, and I will show you how I do it. So we may or may not see me tomorrow. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show. Oh, one last thing. Hit the like button, please, and subscribe if you haven't already. And check out my website, because I post every day on my website. Everything's there on it, from pictures from my career, all the big movies I worked on, just a myriad of things. Go there and have a good time, and hit that follow button. Okay, I'm done. See you perhaps tomorrow.